Hi, so welcome to solving another problem in first order PDE. So, in this PDE, we have a very tricky one. What the lessons have been covering is all about first order linear PDEs and how to solve them analytically. Okay. So again, we always start by solving to compare with the general first order PDE of this form. CU plus D equal to 0, where we can rewrite it as this form. And we said that using the method of characteristics, we set the x ds to be equal to a dy, and then du ds is equal to minus cu minus d. And then we solve this system, right? The way we do that is first solve the first two and try to eliminate s in there and then get a constant. That will give us the expression that is always constant along characteristics. Then we solve the final one, try to eliminate the s in there, and when we are done, the final constant will be a constant function of the expression we had in the first two. Okay, so let's try to apply the same process. Comparing this equation to that, we get dx ds to be equal to y, and dy dx ds is equal to negative x, and du ds is equal to 0 because there's nothing there. So first of all, we solve these two, the first two system. Looking at the first two, we can make it look like we can just keep it like that, right? How do we solve it? Remember, y depends on s. So we cannot just go ahead and solve for this as c and treat y constant, because here y is a function of s. X also depends on s. So we cannot just solve it directly. What we can do is to solve this system by taking the derivative again of one of them, right? If we let's call this equation 1 and call this equation 2. So if you differentiate equation 1 again, that is the x part, you're going to get d squared x dx squared with respect to x. That's what I mean. With respect to the parameter s is equal to dy ds. Okay, taking the derivative of both sides. And what is dy ds? Dy ds is giving us negative x. So we're going to have d squared x dx squared is equal to negative x. And this way, we're going to have d squared x dx squared plus x is equal to 0. And then we use the methods that we know to solve second order ODEs to solve this. Now when you have a second order ODEs, linear one with constant coefficient, you can use the idea of letting x of s to be equal to some e to the power something, right? E to the power r of t, or r of rs, sorry. And then you get s prime prime, or the second derivative, to be equal to r squared e to the rs. I don't know if you remember something like this. You do this substitution into that, and you're gonna have the second derivative to be r squared e to the rs plus the actual function, that is e to the rs, is equal to 0. You pull out e to the rx, and then you get this. But then e to the rs here, we don't want it to be equal to 0. So if that is not equal to 0, then what must happen to make this whole equation 0 is that r squared plus 1 should be equal to 0, and r should be equal to, or r squared should be equal to negative 1. So r is equal to plus or minus I. Okay, and it means x of s here, once you have complex numbers, we say the solution becomes sine and cosine, where we're going to have c1 cosine of s plus c2 sine of s. Okay, so if that is x of s, then what is y? Remember, we said if you look at this, y is equal to, in equation 1, y is equal to dx ds, right? Dx ds is equal to y, so dx ds is equal to y, so it means that y is equal to taking the derivative of what we have. Let's call this equation 3. If you take the derivative of that, it's equal to negative c1 sine of s plus c2 cosine of s, right? And that is equation 4. So you have two equations of both y and x, so we are done. Now we want to eliminate the parameter s, or we want to eliminate s in this case. Okay, so we have two equations. Remember, x is equal to c1 cosine of s plus c2 sine of s, and then we have y is equal to negative c1 sine of s plus c2 cosine of s. Want to make sure that there is no x, or there is no s, this parameter s here. We want to eliminate it in both cases to get only constant. So what we can do is we can do square both sides. X squared is equal to, when you square this guy, right, you're gonna have c1 squared cosine squared of s plus c2 c1 c2 cosine of s sine of s plus c2 squared sine squared of s, right? I think you got to get two of them, right? So two that, and y squared will be equal to c1 squared sine of s minus 2c1 c2 cosine of s sine of s plus c2 squared cosine squared of s. Now if you add these two, what happened? X squared plus y squared will give you what? Now if you add the two of them, these guys will cancel, right? But the rest will be remained. Okay, let me use different. The first, if I'm going to sum the sine squared and the sine squared, I'm going to have c1 squared plus c2 squared. Then I'm going to have sine squared of s. And then if you look at the other one, okay, the cosine squared, you're going to have plus c1 squared plus c2 squared cosine squared of s. Now check the one that is common. So we have x squared plus y squared to be equal to c1 squared plus c2 squared, and in the bracket you have sine squared of s plus cosine squared of s. And we know the famous trigonometric identity that says sine squared of something plus cosine squared of something is 1. So you have x squared plus y squared is equal to c1 squared plus c2 squared, which is a constant, and we've been calling our constant as eta here, or you can call it anything, tau or theta or whatever you want to call it, but I'm calling it eta here. So it means along characteristics, we have eta, which is equal to x squared plus y squared, is always constant. So we've been able to establish the expression in terms of x and y that is always constant along characteristics. What is left to solve here is to solve the expression du ds is equal to 0. And what is this? When you solve this, it means so you have du is equal to 0 ds, and you integrate both sides, you get u is equal to some constant, because when you integrate 0 d something, you get a constant. It means that the constant, when you take the derivative of the constant, you're going to get 0. So we have a constant capital C, right? There's no s here for us to eliminate. The only thing we say we have is that the C is a function but C here is a function of eta. So eta is the one that we know is constant along characteristics, and we've been able to find out that u is also constant. So it means the final solution, C here, is a constant function of this, that is f of x squared plus y squared, that is the eta. So u of xy is some function f of x squared plus y squared. That completes the solution to this problem. In our next set of problems, we're going to solve the famous PDE, first order PDE, the transport equation. I'm going to work on some examples with that, and that will be the end of solving problems without initial conditions, and then we'll move to problems with initial conditions. See you in our next lesson.